Hey everyone, Red back with another tutorial. This time we've got the brand new instance Halion just been released, and we had our very first go at it last night. Fraxed it. This was the fourth attempt, so it's a little bit messy on occasions, but the guild that I'm in did fantastic, so grats to the guys of Flame of Anor. So here we have a warrior pulled it to the edge. I charged him from the sides. Now this dragon does hit pretty hard on a well geared tank. So the healers are going to have to be pretty mindful of what's going on. So the dragon, as you'd expect, has got a cleave and a flame breath, which you don't want to get in front of unless you're tanking. And he also has a tail lash, so you don't want to get behind him, which you'll get stunned, and in heroic mode I believe you'll get worse. I think you get thrown away. So a few things happen. You saw a big flaming orb appear on the screen just to the right hand there, and it dropped a load of flame patches, and they all zoom out from the point that the meteorite impacted. So that meteorite, a big graphic appears on the ground, really obvious to see it, really very easy to avoid. Have a little look around occasionally, especially if you're healing, and take good note of that appearing. So the next graphic you can see there appearing just in the bottom right hand corner, and that's where the meteorite strikes, and you can see the flames appearing. Pretty easy to avoid, pretty good to be positioned just behind the right leg if you're melee of the dragon. You can always switch to the left side, run through the centre of the dragon if possible. Now when you get the dragon down a little bit, you're going to get this little portal appear where his head was, and it's a Twighlight portal. So everybody enter, let the tank pick the dragon up, and then you start carrying on as normal. Now a couple of tricks here. So first time I got hit by these little flame debuff things, so you can see one there, right? You need to run away for those and then get dispelled. Now what I did was I set up my power auras to flash a big red skull when I got that mark appear on me, so that I didn't mess up. It was the first time I missed it, because Deadly Boss Mods just isn't up to date with this new instance yet. Next thing you can see we're rotating the dragon here, or rather the tank's doing a great job at rotating the dragon. You can see these orbs floating around the outside. Good tip here. As was pointed out to me by another guildie, these orbs always float around, so you can see it just appearing behind the dragon's wing on the top right hand corner. You can see that dark energy orb? Well, there's two of them. There's one on the exact opposite side. It's just come into screenshot there, going up past his head now, and occasionally they'll fire a big beam next to them. You still get the debuff occasionally, as you can see there. It dropped a big patch of shadow damage on the ground. You'll still need to avoid the orbs whilst you're still trying to avoid those shadow patches, and you don't want to drop them in the middle of the melee where the tank's tanking. It'll be a complete disaster, and you certainly don't want to drop them where the casters and the healers are busy trying to keep everybody alive. Minimal damage really on the rest of the raid if you avoid all of the problems. Now here's the next transition. Now what happens here is that you're going to take the ranged mostly and a tank out of the Twilight Zone through that portal that's appeared there. Now we left melee, me, the tank, a rogue, a druid healer, and a priest healer. Now the druid and priest are doing a fantastic job of keeping everybody alive. So I'm still having to run away for the debuff, you can see. Call out for dispel. Now get dispelled, run out of the patch, take a bit of damage, and run back. Meanwhile trying to avoid the beam that slices through the dragon there from the orbs, and also not getting in front of that cone effect of the cleave and the dragon's breath. The warrior constantly turns the dragon just to make sure we don't get hit. Next thing you're going to need to do, you notice I've got a couple of focus targets on the screen. I'm taking a look at the health of the dragon in the normal realm, which is where the ranged guys went when they went through the portal, and in this realm, which is where the melee are, the Twilight realm. So what you're doing is you're seeing me drop my rotation quite frequently, and that's very deliberate. What we're doing is we're coordinating on Ventrilo to make sure that the DPS above the normal realm and down here in the Twilight realm is kept the same. So we're saying, okay, stop DPS Twilight, stop DPS normal. So anybody that's above stops, and everybody below stops as called out. Now we're doing that because we want the dragon above and below to both go down at exactly the same time. The way I refer to this is like a pair of scales. Imagine you're putting two weights on a scale. You've got the normal Halion and the Twilight Halion, and they're sitting on either side of the scale, you've got to keep them absolutely balanced so that they both go down at the same time. Now the reason for that is that if you DPS the one above too much, then the one below becomes stronger, and vice versa. And you'll wipe the raid if you don't manage this. So a bit of careful coordination. This is more about staying alive, this fight. DPS obviously is important, but survival is the biggest thing about this. The tanks do get hit very hard, so do be aware of that. We took 3 healers, 3 very accomplished healers, and obviously on our first night trying this, we made sure we had some people that were pretty reasonably well geared. I'm reasonably well geared, I guess, as a feral druid, but I'm still sporting 2 pieces of tier 9 and 232 ring and trinket out of a heroic and a couple of other items out of heroics. So by no means do you need ICC level 25 gear to be able to do this boss. It just needs some careful coordination. So we're working him down now. You can see that in the realm above and below we've got him down to about 8%. So this is a little bit of a tricky moment. Good time to use some cooldowns. The warrior did. The healer, druid is a really good healer down below because they can heal whilst running. Got the debuff and had to run out to drop the shadow patch on the ground. As you can see, the dragon's nearly dead. Let's just switch over to the Ventrilo conversation that was happening when we were nearly there. Have a listen.
Oops. By the way, Decus Advertus still hasn't killed him.
Good job, guys.
Good job.
Oh yeah.
Good job.
Nice.
And the best bit of every instance is the vent chatter when you finish the kill. 10-man loot table, obviously, normal. And here's the loot drops. A nice ring. And a pretty nice cloak, mana for 5 cloak as well. I enjoyed making these videos. I enjoy the encouragement that everybody on the community out there gives me. So I appreciate it. Thanks very much. Take care, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sure there'll be more to come. See you now. Bye.